production of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
Last night, the Angels had their backs against the wall again, but this time with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, Albert Pujols' clutch hit provided a huge walk-off win. Today, the Halos go for their first series victory of the season. Astros and Angels is next. No question, a fun game to watch last night and to call as the Angels snap their 5-game losing streak today. It's the rubber game of the series, the finale against the visiting Houston Astros. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here at Fox Sports West, along with Mark Guzan, Victor Rojas. So glad you could join us, and there's no question that last night has some lingering effects in that Angel fans are absolutely thrilled with the way that Albert Pujols came through in the clutch in one of those games that you thought it was going to extend the losing streak, but everybody left home happy.
Yeah, Victor, a lot of positive in that last inning. Luis Jimenez had a great at-bat in which he worked a walk and, of course, an infield hit for Mike Trout. Set the table for Albert Pujols, who's had tremendous numbers against the Astros throughout his career. Gets a fastball in the inner half and turns on it, hits it down the line, the 15th career walk-off hit. But the impressive thing is Mike Trout scoring from first base. How he does that? Because he cuts that angle around second base as well as anybody you'll ever see in the game of baseball. Gets around Ardino Ubalitz, gets out of the way and says, hey, Mike, you bring it home there. And he comes sliding in, not even really even a play at the plate. It was that impressive. Big, huge victory. Obviously, momentum going today. C.J. Wilson's got to keep it going, but what a victory last night.
Yeah, all the fans on the third base line were waving Trout home. Dino didn't even have to be there, but we'll see what the Angels do this afternoon. C.J. Wilson will be towing the slab for the Halos, looking for his first win of the season. And Philip Humber, who threw a perfect game last year, will go for the Houston Astros. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A, so sit back and relax. We'll bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by Hyundai. Let's Go sales event now through April 30th. By Jack in the Box, the Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. And by Corona, who invite you to find your beach. Angels and the Houston Astros here this afternoon, and looks like C.J. Wilson and the Angels kind of taking their time getting out to the field, wearing the alternate red tops. They wore them last night, and of course the dramatic win, the big swing by Albert Pujols. A night of firsts, as we pointed out. Luis Jimenez picked up his first major league hit. Hamilton hit his first home run. That home run was also the first hit by an Angel at home this year. And then Michael Roth, what a story for him, gets called up from Double-A after one appearance at Double-A, a start, and picks up the win in his major league debut. We'll check out Bo Porter's starting nine for the Astros. They are a game ahead of the Angels in the American League West with a 4-7 record. And it'll be Jose Altuve leading things off at second base. Justin Maxwell in center. J.D. Martinez is in left field this afternoon. Chris Carter will serve as a DH. Carlos Pena back at first. Carlos Corcoran will do the catching. He's a switch hitter, and he's behind the plate. Ronnie Cedeno sees action for the first time this series. He's at shortstop. Matt Dominguez at third. And it's Brandon Barnes, the local product, out in right field. Taking on C.J. Wilson, who so far this year has 12 innings under his belt, 11 hits allowed, but 7 walks in those 12 innings, 11 strikeouts, and still no record.
Yeah, we touched on him on the pregame show, C.J. Wilson. He has ace-type stuff. Now it's got to correlate into having that mentality of attacking the strike zone, trusting your defense, very good athletic infield defense. Obviously, we talk about the outfield defense and the coverage. Just go out and throw strikes and get deep in the game. The importance of getting deep in the game for C.J. Wilson.
Well, let's check out the defense behind C.J. this afternoon. It's Mike Trout at left. Peter Borges back in the lineup. He's in center. Josh Hamilton is in right. The infield has Luis Jimenez at third. Andrew Romine at short. Howie Kendrick at second. It's Mark Trumbo at first, with Pujols serving as a DH, and Condor behind the plate today.
And Mark Trumbo getting that start at first base. We talked about C.J. getting a lot of ground ball outs. It's important for Mark and C.J. to communicate for that bunt or slow roller up that first baseline. Who's going to take that? And Trumbo is very active as far as doing that. Very good also with a 3-6-3 double play.
Halos with their win snapped a 5-game losing streak, now 3-8, 1-4 here at home. This is the finale of the homestand. They've got a 3-game road trip that begins tomorrow in cold Minneapolis. Matter of fact, the Twins postponed their game today because of snow. The Angels should have good weather on Monday and Tuesday in Minneapolis. Wednesday is the question mark. First one this afternoon is a fastball that is a called strike on Jose Altuve. The Astros second baseman went 0-for-2 last night, had a couple of walks. Off to a good start, hitting .348 on the young season. Has a home run, 6 runs batted in, and a couple of doubles. All-Star season ago. Good off speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Always important for C.J. to establish his breaking pitch early in the game, able to do so on the third pitch.
Kind of a cool afternoon. Very little breeze here in the ballpark. That ball bounced about 3 feet out in front of the plate. C.J. after he threw that pitch kind of looked down at the landing area, but just one of those he overthrew.
Yeah, C.J. does something interesting every time before he starts a game. Will make a spot exactly where he wants to land, from the pitching rubber to his landing foot. And that time he was away from there, and that's why he looked down to see what happened.
Fastball called strike, 3 down goes Altuve. There's out number 1.
Real good spot on this fastball after bouncing a breaking pitch to pitch before. Paints the outside corner at 94.
Last start for C.J. was against Oakland. 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs all earned. Struck out 7 and walked 3. Justin Maxwell will step to the plate. Maxwell, the Maryland native, 0-for-4 last night. He's the center fielder. Makes low. 326 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. A couple of doubles, a couple of triples. Outfield straight around against Maxwell. There's a strike.
Good pace early on for C.J. Wilson, not wasting time. That's the big thing for him. When you see him on the pitching rubber and attacking the strike zone, not walking around the mound, he's focused. The importance for that for C.J. Wilson.
This one's pulled to third. Jimenez has it. Big hop. 2 outs. And before J.D. Martinez steps to the plate, we'll take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
You know, with Carry On by Fun today, Victor. Carry on that momentum that they gained from last night's victory. Good at bats. Jimenez, Trout, huge at bat for Pujols to win the game. The momentum's carried on by the starting pitcher.
So we're now to Fun.
Hey, it's fun.
J.D. Martinez steps in.
Just trying to bring everyone into it. Into our little world.
J.D. Martinez looks at the strike. He went 1 for 4 last night, picking up his second double, and also made a crucial error. That was on the fly ball that Howie Kendrick hit down the right field line. Howie got credit for a sac fly on that one. That's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not lost in last night's heroics. The walk-off is Garrett Richards, who, you know, you look at the line and says 4 runs and 6 1/3. Keep in mind 2 of those runs were inherited runs by Sean Burnett, and they came across. Well, they are Garrett's nonetheless, but he threw the ball very well.
Exceptionally well, and I really like what I saw from Garrett today. He was out running hard just to keep himself in shape, which you want to do, especially as a starting pitcher, to be able to keep those legs strong, which is important, allowed you to go deeper into games. And his stuff was unbelievable last night.
Very good, very aggressive. First starting pitcher to pitch into the 7th inning this year, as this one's down the right field line, slicing and foul. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Even talking to Chris Iannetta about catching him last night, he was saying his fastball was so good. Sometimes it would cut, sometimes it would sink. It was very difficult to know which way it was going to go. He was just putting down that 1 for the fastball, and just hope he's able to frame a pitch and get some calls there by the umpire.
CJ looking for a 1-2-3 first inning. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. How much does fatigue play into that, especially in that Brett Wallace at bat, where that ball's moving so much? He missed badly on that Wallace, which eventually led to a walk.
I think a lot of times, especially when you get to that certain point where you know you're deep in the game, you know you're throwing some pitches, then you try to be a little more perfect, and that's what you saw the pitch running out. He tried to be too fine with the pitch on the outside instead of just going middle and trust the movement, because he had so much movement last night.
And at least for a day, you could sit there and say, take a deep breath. Garrett's out of the bullpen. Oh no, what's going to happen? Jepson on the DL. All of a sudden you get a performance like you saw last night by Michael Roth.
Mike Scioscia has a lot of confidence in him too. You can see when he was talking today with the media about what Roth will bring to the bullpen. He's been a winner. He's won a College World Series. So that's about as intense as you're going to get up here to the majors.
3-2s into center field. A 2-out base hit. So Martinez got into that fastball count and got the fastball. That'll bring up Chris Carter.
Now this is a challenge for CJ to get through an inning, get those first 2 outs, and then allow your opponent to get a rally against you. Give up a base hit, and now he's facing a guy that's had success against him. 3 for 4 in his career. Chris Carter is against C.J. Wilson.
Carter's off to a good start with Houston, a .289 average, 4 home runs, 7 runs batted in. He homered off Garrett last night, a 2-run shot. Trouble playing in front of J.D. Martinez at first. The Astros don't run a whole lot. They've 1 stolen base on the year. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Seems like CJ with 2 outs here in the first inning, really preoccupied with JD Martinez at first.
When you get 2 outs and you have a fastball that CJ has, just think in terms of the batter, especially a guy as strong as Carter is. You don't want to have that focus go away from the batter itself.
Off speed, misses outside. Like a little slide step from CJ. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
Bo Porter doesn't have him running a whole lot. You mentioned that, Victor. So mindset as a pitcher, especially a left-handed pitcher, they're not going to take many chances against a lefty on the mound. You may go on first movement, but the reality is you slow down a game itself when you're a left-handed pitcher. You just have to have that focus on the batter.
Two balls and a strike.
Much better as far as going through from the stretch here. Got better balance. Was able to work downhill. That's picture perfect right there from C.J. Wilson. Pitch before, slide step, too quick, elbow drags. It looked like he went back to a slide step there once again. Very difficult to throw a consistent breaking ball with a slide step. You have to make sure your arm's in good position to be able to do so.
And he walked him. These are the issues that C.J. Wilson has continued to have. The Angels just unable to close out an inning.
Pitch off the plate. Yep. And he's looking, he's thinking that ball is on the corner. Clear the mind.
Just going back to that whole JD Martinez at first base thing, you've got strikeout ability and you've got 2 outs. Who cares in your mind if JD Martinez actually steals to second base and or is successful at it? Take care of the guy at the plate. Don't worry about anything else.
Well, you remember the greats of all time, Nolan Ryan's, Bob Gibson's, Don Drysdale's, even Dwight Gooden's, even Greg Maddux. They didn't worry about it. They gave up their share of stolen bases, but they knew they were going to get the next batter out anyhow.
Pena takes a huge rip on a pitch that was up in strike zone. It's 0-1. Not only that, it adds to the pitch count.
And you want to be out there in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning as a starting pitcher. That's the best feeling you can have. You don't want your bullpen to have to get you 12 outs each time you take the mound.
Martinez standing at second base. Carter at first. Howie Kendricks out in shallow right field with Pena at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pena went 0 for 4 last night, hitting .225 on the year. 4 doubles, 3 runs batted in. A free agent signee in the offseason. They signed him to really be the DH. They like Brett Wallace at first base, but we've seen Pena at first base. 2 of the 3 games. Wallace was there last night. Now the 1-1. Breaking ball is down the corner. 1-2. CJ's 3rd start of the year. That one against the Reds, the A's, and now the Astros.
Well, if he wants, he can paint the outside corner with a fastball, especially after a breaking ball.
Here comes the 1-2 upstairs. .24 pitches right down the middle. 12 balls, 12 strikes. Struck at Altuve looking. Maxwell grounded to third. Very economical at that point. 3-2 base hit by Martinez. And a walk to Carter. This is the pitch, of course, you want him to get. Otherwise, you've got the base runners moving on a 3-2 count. 2-2. Breaking ball. Missed outside. And a full count.
That pitch a lot closer to the strike zone. Pretty good break to it, but just off the corner once again. In that pitch, the pitch before, whether you throw a breaking ball or a fastball in that plane, you're going to get Pena, but when you throw that pitch so high the pitch before, he's more apt to take that borderline pitch.
The runners will be off of the pitch with 2 outs here in the first. It took CJ 8 pitches to get the first 2 outs. 17 pitches since. Runners take off. 3-2. And he walked him. So the bases are loaded now for Carlos Corcoran. Mike Butcher will pay his first visit of the afternoon.
And off the plate once again. That's why I felt that fastball knee level outside corner is going to freeze him.
I mean, it's becoming, it seems like it's becoming anyway, just to, as the observer, we watch every single game, every single pitch of every game. More of a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. It seems like he's trying to outthink himself and or becoming a nibbler, trying to nibble on the corners.
I mean, take it from me, Victor. Early in my career, I walked some batters. A lot of them, as a matter of fact. But I finally realized you trust your movement. Have your catcher set up middle part of the plate. Trust the movement, that it's not going to stay in the middle. It's either going to cut to the outside corner or sink to the inside corner. You just got to trust movement and trust the ability to give the umpire a chance to call a strike.
1 ball, no strikes. Now we saw this out of CJ in his last start. Retired the first 2 batters. And then 7 more came to the plate. As the A's scored 3 runs in the first inning. Corbett fouls it off. Tardy on the fastball.
Even his last start out, we talked about the importance of getting through this first inning without any damage. The game most times is not won or lost in the first, but there's always that potential that it could, because you slow down your team's momentum when they come to the plate.
One ball, 1 strike. This one grounded to the left side. Jimenez has it. He'll go across the diamond. And the inning finally comes to an end. We'll head to the bottom of the first with no score. Bottom of the first, and between innings, Mike Scioscia, who you seldom see talking to a pitcher, starting pitcher anyways, especially early in a ball game, talking with C.J. Wilson.
I like that a lot, and I think it's something that Mike had to do at that point. Mike Scioscia caught a lot of really good pitchers in his career as a catcher. He knows exactly what to say to a pitcher to get him going.
Check out the Angels starting lineup real quick. With Peter Borges leading things off at center, Mike Trout on left, Pujols is the DH, Josh Hamilton in right, Mark Trumbo at first, Howie Kendrick at second, Hank Congress doing the catching, Luis Jimenez at third base, and Andrew Romine will bat ninth and play shortstop as they take on the 30-year-old right-hander, native of Nacogdoches, Texas. His name is Philip Humber.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
One. Fastball 86 to 92 range, slider, curve, changeup.
Borges looks at a strike.
A perfecto last year. He can run the fastball in well against right-handed batters. You're going to see that early on here for sure.
And he's ahead at 0-2 on Borges, who did not play last night, hitting .286 on the year. A home run, a triple, 1 RBI. Corner infielders back after the 2 strikes recorded. Corcoran sets up way outside, and this one's fouled off. Hey, you mentioned that perfect game that Philip Humber threw last year, April 21st. We're almost at the 1-year anniversary. As you remember, the Chicago White Sox against the Seattle Mariners. And of course, the last out, the questionable out as Borges goes down looking on the breaking ball. There's down the road, Brendan Ryan striking out. Checks swing. Here's the defense for the Astros this afternoon behind Humber. It's Martinez at left, Maxwell at center, Barnes is in right field. Infield has Dominguez, Cedeno, Altuve, and Pena from third to first. Corcoran's doing the catching.
Brandon Barnes getting that start in right field. Very good coverage. Local boy playing in front of his family and friends. It's his 4th start this year playing right field.
Mike Trout showed bunt, takes inside for ball 1. Trout last night ended up going 2 for 5, couple of infield base hits, hitting .245. Has 3 doubles, triple, and 1 run batted in. This one hooked down the line. That's a fair ball. Trout is thinking double. J.D. Martinez up with it, fires it to second, not even close. 4th double of the year for Mike Trout. He's in scoring position.
Well, he's made some adjustments. They've pounded him in with fastballs. This time he got a fastball that was down and away. Did a nice job as far as serving out in the left field and determined out of the batter's box to cruise in for a double. His 4th double. But boy, his base running last night to score from first base on that double by Pujols last night. Textbook.
Here's Albert serving as the DH today. A walk-off hit, 15th of his career. Ended up going 2 for 5 with a double and 2 runs batted in. 2-seamer catches the strike zone. It's 0-1. Albert at .324 now. .480 on base percentage. A couple of home runs, and those were last Saturday in Texas.
Humber better not throw one of those 2-seamers that gets that much to the plate this time around.
Looks like they're going away from him. This one's lifted foul and out of play.
That was better located for him. The pitch before Albert was going to take and to see first pitch from Philip Humber, the 2-seam fastball that started away, but that got a lot of the plate. Pulls 2 for 4 in his career with a home run against Humber.
Humber claimed off waivers from the White Sox. Last appearance on the 8th, and that was at Seattle. Won 6 innings in that one. Albert breaks his bat, rolls one to the right side. Altuve is shading him toward the middle. Gets it and fires to first for the second out as Trout ends up in the 3rd. That, my friends, would be getting in someone's kitchen.
Yeah, especially after a couple pitches away. Fastball well inside. If you're pitching inside against Pujols, you better have to pitch in off the plate, and that's exactly what he did on his hands just about.
That is a get off me swing.
As quick as Albert is, you can't be that quick.
So Hamilton comes up. They overshift. Altuve out in shallow right. Hamilton looks at a strike. Josh 1 for 4 was his first home run of the year. That was off of Lucas Harrell, who did a nice job for the Astros in his start last night. Harold going 5 2/3. 0-1 pitch. Way outside. Halos 1 for 5 with men in scoring position last night, and that was the walk-off hit by Albert. Trout with a 1-out double, moving to third on the ground out. Now the 1-1 off the plate.
A couple of good at bats though in RBI situations for Iannetta and Howie Kendrick, both getting sacrifice flies. So the approach was better. Mike Socha even said that today when he was talking to the media. He felt the approaches were better in those situations.
Three and one now. Trumbo on deck.
Left-handed batters hitting .364 versus Humber this year as compared to .095 for right-handed batters. He may not give in with a fastball here with an open base.
An off-speed pitch. And by definition, that is not giving in.
No. As a hitter, you got to be thinking fastball. Now your mindset is, okay, you got to look for something off speed potentially and the fastball too.
Payoff pitch. They just got a piece of it. Let's go back to the home run that he hit off Harrell last night. Tough pitch too, up and in.
So strong, able to get his hands tucked in and get the good part of the bat on the baseball and drive it out to right center field. His first home run is an angel.
Another 3-2. Breaking ball. Grounded toward the middle. That's going to be an infield base hit and a run scored. 1-0 Angels. And that's what happens when you start playing overshifts. You can give up those little mistake or little flare hits. That's a perfect example of it.
Josh will have a smile there. It's going to look good in the box score. It's a base hit and RBI. That was about a 45 roller through the infield. No chance to be able to throw Hamilton going out down the line, but when you're playing on the pole like that, you're going to get those base hits, especially when you're throwing a slow curveball like that and you fold them.
Trumbo swings and misses on a breaking ball. And it's 0-1. Mark went 2 for 4, including a double, his 5th last night. It's a home run with 7 runs batted in. Popped up on the first base side, headed toward the seats. 0-2. Hey, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching it around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Not only do we thank you for your service, we welcome you to our broadcast this afternoon. 0-2 count on Mark Trumbo. Hamilton over at first base. Breaking pitch. Did he go? No, says Laz Diaz. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hamilton with an infield base hit, scoring Mike Trout to give the Angels a 1-0 lead here in the first. Corcoran set up outside. Breaking pitch rolled over to third. Dominguez has it, feeds Altuve. They force out Hamilton. The inning comes to an end, but the Angels strike for a run. And after 1 here at the Big A, it's 1-0 Angels. C.J. Wilson back out on the mound. Trout with a double and Hamilton with an infield base hit.
Boy, it's good to get that first run scored and win it that first inning. C.J. got through. The bases loaded. Didn't give up a run. And the Angels against Philip Humber score that first run of the game.
Ronnie Cedeno takes upstairs for ball one. CJ had 1 strikeout, 2 walks in the first inning. Cedeno hitting .267. First action we've seen in the series with Cedeno at shortstop. Let go by the Cardinals in spring training, and the Astros plucked him right up. Put him right in as their starting shortstop. Although I don't know about you, Marwin Gonzalez.
Well, he's made some plays in this series.
He looks pretty good. And he's a switch hitter. A little bit of pop as Cedeno lifts one out toward left center field. Borges giving chase. Reaches, can't get it. It's a one-hopper to the fence. Cedeno to second with a leadoff double. Borges was shading Cedeno the opposite way. Had a long way to go.
Boy, he was almost able to get to that baseball. Was down and in. And Cedeno able to drop the head of the bat. And just past Peter Borges. Covering a lot of ground. Almost able to track that one down. Cedeno now 2 for 2 in his career versus C.J. Wilson.
First extra base hit of the year for Ronnie Cedeno. Here's Matt Dominguez. Went 1 for 3 last night, including an RBI. One ball, no strikes. Dominguez hitting .250. A couple of doubles, 4 RBIs on the year. Chatsworth High School product. Marlins first round pick. Acquired from the Fish in exchange for El Caballero. Carlos Lee.
He put up some numbers there for a while. Carlos.
Yeah.
Looking for a fastball, trying to turn on a fastball.
Put numbers in Milwaukee. Traded to Texas.
Didn't seem like it went as well with the Rangers, but he was dominant with Milwaukee.
Nice job by Hank to stab that one out of the air. 2 balls and a strike. Good lead for Cedeno at second base. It's 3 balls, 1 strike.
Hank's going to go out to talk to CJ. He's missed by a lot in this at bat against Dominguez. A lot of pitches thrown out of the strike zone for CJ here. We're only in the top of the second. 4 3-ball counts for him already.
Three-one pitch. That's in there. Cedeno leading off the second inning with a double to the alley in left center field. And Brandon Barnes on deck. Oh, bouncer foul. Another 3-2, and Dominguez hits one out of the alley in right center field. Nobody's going to get this one. This game's going to be tied. Back-to-back doubles for the Astros here to start the second. So CJ gives up that run that the Angels put on the board of the first. again continues to put himself on the defensive with deep counts and hitters counts.
As a hitter, if you can think in terms of one pitch to look for, you're going to be successful. Looking for a fastball, you want something middle in, which he got, and he drove that ball very well. His approach was compact for Matt Dominguez. Drives the ball to right center field. His third double of the season, 5th RBI.
So still nobody out, a man in scoring position. Brandon Barnes at the plate.
I think in terms of potential sacrifice bunt here.
Corner infielder's cheating in. He's 3 for 8 on the year. Shows bunt, snap throw to second base. What a play by Romine to keep that ball on the infield.
You have to deal with the runner going back to the base and a wide throw. Romine, athletic play, able to keep that from going into the outfield and allowing Dominguez to be able to advance to third base with no outs.
And Wilson's falling behind at 1 ball, no strikes. Now here's where you think you just throw a BP fastball in a sacrifice situation just to get it over fastball.
And you want to get it out here.
They want to give you an out. Not bunting now, and now he's behind at 2-0. Barnes, a Catella High School product. Baseball and football there. Matter of fact, quit baseball his senior year to concentrate on football. Recruited as a safety by UCLA and Colorado State. Ended up going to Cyprus. Played baseball there as a walk-on. 6th round pick by the Astros in 05. Chopper to third. That'll keep Dominguez at second. 1 away.
A nice job as far as getting that productive out. And you want to keep the balance. Able to get out in front of that one, but it's that consistent delivery. Sometimes he's trying to be too quick. When he stays back and balances well on the pitching rubber, he's been successful throwing strikes. It's when he's trying to be too quick. That's when they're out of the zone.
Back to the top of the order now for Houston. Jose Altuve comes up. Second baseman struck out looking in the first. The only punch out Wilson has recorded. And he swings to the first one, lines it to Jimenez. Possible double play. They got him. What a play by Luis Jimenez. 3rd game of the big leagues. We're tied up at 1. Courtesy of that guy right there.
Well, I like his energy, and this is a tremendous play. He's been very active already in the game. Line drive not only makes the play, but the presence of mind to throw a perfect throw to Howie Kendrick to get a double play. last 4 plays he's made already in the game, and I love his energy.
Howie Kendrick takes upstairs for ball 1. The Angels sending up Kendrick, Conger, and Jimenez. No, you mentioned the energy. It just for a kid that is just experiencing big league life for the first time, really is capable of he has slowed the game down. I mean, he's not no happy feet. He doesn't seem like he's over amplified or anything like that. He's really capable of slowing everything down.
He's got a strong arm to boot. He just knows he's got good baseball instincts. And you could tell his teammates like him a lot.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Caught the inside corner. 1-2. Howie 1 for 3 last night. Had a sacrifice fly that netted him his 6th run batted in. 1 double, 1 triple, 1 home run for Kendrick. He goes down swinging for the first down here in the 2nd.
Now it's time for Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Speaking of Philip Humber, back on April 21st of 2012, pitched the 21st perfect game in MLB history. He only threw 96 pitches in that game with 9 punch-outs, which is a career high. The least amount of pitches thrown in a perfect game since David Cohn threw 88 back in 1999 in his perfecto.
And Conger takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Today's Coors Light Cold Hard Fact was brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Hey, it's cool and everything to say through a perfect game in the big leagues, but then you say just the 21st. Consider all of the games that have been played in baseball history.
It's unbelievable. Everything has to go your way. You have to have good stuff. Everyone has to make a play. And that's the thing. If you make an error in the field, your perfect game is gone. You can still be in position to have a no-hitter, but everyone has to make plays.
Strikeout, wild pitch.
Or you have an umpire to, a couple borderline pitches. You walk a guy. I mean, there's so many things that have to go right to do that.
Conger rips one out to right field. Barnes is not going to get it. That's a 1-hopper off the fence. Hank on his horse headed to second. He is in there with a double. And Conger came off the bag and he gets tagged out by Barnes, or pardon me, by Altuve. Mike Socha is going to come out and argue. Tim Timmons making the call. I wonder if Hank maybe hurt himself on the slide as well.
He was walking a little bit of a limp. Boy, he lifted his foot off the base, a la Kent Herbeck in the World Series against the Atlanta Braves.
And I said Altuve, it was actually Ronnie Cedeno, the shortstop, that applied the tag. Now I wonder if Socha is arguing that the tag itself took the foot off the bag.
Exactly. Remember all those discussions in that World Series at the Metrodome?
Yep.
Kent Herbeck. It was Ron Gant, maybe, at first base for the Braves in that World Series.
So Conger gets credit for his first extra base hit of the year, but there are 2 outs and the bases are clear. Luis Jimenez at the plate. First one's down and away. Luis picked up his first major league hit last night. A double. Ended up going 2 for 3.
And at bat he had in the 9th inning, though. Very impressive. Did not chase any breaking pitches out of the strike zone. Even took the 3-2 fastball just off the corner.
Hits this one out toward left field. J.D. Martinez is not going to get this one. A 1-hopper off the fence. Jimenez gets the second with a double. Standing up, so no need to worry about a slide and coming off the bag. So back-to-back doubles for the Angels.
There's been some doubles hitting this game.
Trout had one in the first inning.
That's 3 doubles for the Angels, 2 for the Astros already. Going inside, quick through the baseball. Martinez playing pretty shallow on the left. Next time around, for when Jimenez is up, he's not going to be playing so shallow.
Second double in as many games. And Romine with an opportunity to snap this 1-1 tie. Andrews 0 for 7 on the season. Dominguez off the line at third. Breaking ball is in for a strike.
Well, this Astro defense really looks at the charts and puts their defenders in positions, really shading Romine in the outfield to hit the other way. Huge gap in right center field. Same thing on the infield too, the shift there.
Fouled off. An 0-2 count on Andrew.
I remember a few times when they used to do that when I was pitching in Kansas City. I always liked this. I tried to turn around and go and move my defenders into positions where they'd be in the hole, whether to second baseman or shortstop. They would have them bunched up the middle.
This one, the slow bouncer towards short. Cedeno comes charging in, gets rid of it quickly. The inning comes to an end. Back-to-back doubles and nothing to show for it, with Conger getting called out at second. We're through 2, still tied at 1. The American League West, the Angels 5.5 back. Oakland lost yesterday to the Tigers. Texas won against the Seattle Mariners. And you get Seattle and Houston both 4.5 back. And then the Angels. Halos against the West 2-6. Houston is 4-7. Angels going back out of the division after this game. 3 against Minnesota. Back home for a 6-game homestand that includes the Tigers for 3. That's next weekend. And then the Texas Rangers a week from tomorrow.
And we don't see Texas for a while after that.
June, I think, right? End of June. Justin Maxwell, J.D. Martinez, and Chris Carter. 2, 3, and 4 for the Stros here in the third. Maxwell grounded out to Jimenez in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Houston with 3 hits, the Angels with 4. Slider on the outside corner. 0-2. Wilson down 45 pitches, 24 have been strikes. 1 punch out, 2 walks. They climb the ladder there. 2-2. Pardon me, 1-2. CJ threw 29 pitches in the first. Now it's 2-2. talking about the Astros as far as they're shifting around defensively. The Angels don't move around a whole lot at all. Some a little bit in the outfield as Maxwell takes outside a full count.
Pretty good pitch. Tries to hit the outside corner. Just off the plate. Just missing about a baseball off each time.
It's the fourth full count that Wilson has had today. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. He's out number one. Check out the umpires for this afternoon's game. Mark Wagner is calling the balls and strikes. And it looks like Mark wants to call some strikes here this afternoon. Laz Diaz at first. Tim Timmons is at second base. And Mike Winters, no relation to Shelley, is over at third. One out, nobody on for J.D. Martinez. Martinez had a base hit in the first. He worked the count to a 3-2 count. That's got a fastball. Singled out to center. Kind of an unusual style for J.D. Martinez with the bat. With that hitch, kind of not Hunter Pence like, because there's only one Hunter Pence.
Yeah, he's a unique human being with his approach.
But the way he kind of drops the hands back toward the umpire.
Well, you would think with that movement that you're susceptible to fastballs in. Because anytime when you see a batter moving their hands, I remember that being on the mound. When you have a batter moving his hands, you feel that there's no way they're going to be quick enough to be able to hit a good fastball inside.
Three balls and a strike.
And Gary Sheffield moves his back quite a bit, but that dropping of the hands, you would think because of that motion there with the hands, it's going to be difficult because you got to still create enough bat speed to catch up to something inside.
3-1 pitch. That's a strike. Full count.
Now Sheffield, even all that movement, yes, could catch up to that baseball inside.
Ridiculous strength and ridiculous bat speed.
Yeah, the only person I felt that I faced that had anywhere close, Jack Clark, had great bat speed himself.
This one's fouled off to the right. Yeah, but Jack Clark had the happy feet working too.
Yeah,
that back foot of his.
Yeah, he did.
Nothing like Hal Morris's happy feet.
Yeah, he would run up in the batter's box. But Hal Morris had some consistent batting averages of around 300 almost every year of his career.
Now a member of the Angels front office. A full count here on Martinez with one out. Chris Carter's on deck.
That hitch down and then try to get back up into a hitting position. It's all timing mechanisms for hitters.
And he walked him. Third walk issued by CJ. Puts a man on for Carter. Hey fans, now's the perfect time, I should say, to reserve a suite rental for this season. Suites offer 12 to 36 guests the opportunity to enjoy the game in a private and luxurious atmosphere. To reserve your suite today, just call 888-796-HALO or log on at angels.com/suites. So Carter will step up with a man on. Gary Sheffield, Hall of Famer for you?
Yes.
509 home runs.
Just ask any pitcher that ever faced him.
Career .292 hitter. Carter looks at a strike.
Remember, he was drafted, came up as a shortstop.
Yep.
With Milwaukee. His uncle was a pretty good baseball player too. Dwight Gooden.
He went around, and it's 0-2. But of course, with Sheffield, it's that whole discussion that we're now having on a yearly basis with the whole steroid things and allegations. things that have come out based on numbers, yeah.
No question, numbers wise, there's no doubt.
9-time All-Star, 6 times top 10 MVP. Bounced around a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Give you $1 if you could tell me the last team you played for. Martinez over at first. And a 1-2.
Over the Mets.
Somebody in the truck told you.
I swear no.
Come
no,
on.
I swear
Get
no.
out of here.
No. Because I remember the Dodgers, Yankees, and that's the Mets. Off the plate once again.
All right, you win.
All right.
Because it's usually a little help from the truck. And you play it off as if
no,
it's
they
not.
never tell me anything in there. I'm still hoping.
Another breaking ball that misses out of the plate. Yet another full count for C.J. Wilson. 62 pitches with 1 out here to third.
Well, with the amount of pitches thrown from C.J. here early in the game means it's going to be a bullpen day.
6th full count with Pena on deck. Six full counts and 11 batters in. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Carter thought he had ball 4, 2 outs. But again, that ball it's a borderline pitch.
Could have easily been called a ball also, just off the plate once again. But this time gets the benefit. Good job of framing by Hank Conger, bringing it back close enough to get the call. Well, Garrett Richards got into the 7th inning with 1 out with 86 pitches thrown last night.
Martinez still over at first base. Here's Carlos Pena. He drew a walk in the first. Coming right after him. Ground ball to the left side. Jimenez has it. He'll go on to first. The inning comes to an end. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Still tied at 1. Offense, Tigers, Rangers, or the Angels. Is this on paper currently? What are we qualifying or just in general?
Just in general.
So let's assume you're going into the season. In your mind, which team has the best offense?
With everyone healthy, the Angels followed by the Tigers, then the Rangers, especially after all the hits that the Rangers lineup took this offseason.
Well, log on to your Twitter account, Gooby, and throw the hashtag out there.
We'll do so. Plus, the fact is we get to see those offenses coming in when we come back home.
Yeah, Tigers for 3, Texas for 3. Borges, Trout, and Pujols here in the third, tied at 1. And Borges hits one out towards center field. Maxwell was playing back there. Makes the catch, 1 away. Squared up by Peter, but nothing to show for it. Go for 2. First down is recorded here in the third.
Maxwell plays a very deep center field. Obviously, it tells you he's more comfortable coming in on the baseballs compared to going back. Because normally when the leadoff hitter with Borges up, you're going to play a little more shallow. Has a chance to get over his head.
At least that's what we've seen pretty much in every team that we face, or the team has faced. With Borges at the plate. Trout shows bunt. Looks at a strike.
I still like that from Trout. That's going to give him an extra 15 base hits during the course of a year by utilizing his speed by bunting.
He doubled down the left field line and scored in the first. Humber last year, even with the perfect game, finished with a 5-5 mark, a 6.44 ERA for the White Sox. This one's driven out toward right center field. Maxwell giving chase, pulls up. This one is gone. A big fly for Mike Trout, and the Angels are back on top 2-1.
Talk about momentum, what he had from that last at bat last night, getting that infield hit, then driving this fastball that was away and up. Great power, compact swing, through the ball and out to right center field.
Pujols looks at a strike on the corner. First home run of the year for Mike Trout.
That's really the first time we've seen him smile in that dugout where he's feeling better.
0-2.
They haven't gone inside on him though.
Yep.
Both hits away.
First one was a breaking pitch down and away that he hooked down the left field line. He'll take it. A couple of extra base hits tonight. Today, I should say. A double and a home run. 1-2 is pulled over to third. Dominguez has it. 2 outs.
Take a look at our AL starters ERA, our Chevy leaders. Boston, the top with 2.34. Houston, their starting pitchers have done a pretty solid job. 3.49 in the revamped Kansas City Royals rotation, 3.95. Boston took a little bit of a hit themselves. John Lackey, after coming back from Tommy John, goes back on the disabled list.
Hamilton is in the hole here at 0-2. Clay Buchholz took a no-hitter into the 8th inning, but it was broken up in the top of the 8th. Kelly Johnson with a base hit to snap that no-no.
Some pitchers flirting with no-nos and perfectos already this year. Darvish, this is 1 out away.
Marwin Gonzalez.
Round ball up the middle. It was a rocket though.
Josh with an infield base hit and an RBI his first time up as the count evened up now at 2-2. Humber started this at bat with an 0-2 count, to 6th that he has had at 0-2. Throwing strikes. Breaking pitch, and that is pulled, and that's a fair ball right on the chalk and headed toward the corner. This might be a triple. Hamilton is turning it on, and he is going to get in there easily. Boy,
he's starting to get hot now too. So then we have that conversations about the best offenses in the American League. With him going and Trout swinging now, a lot of positives. Breaking ball dropped ahead of the bat. That baseball was off the plate and in, and right down the line. You almost forget how fast Josh Hamilton is because he's so big and strong, but he's quick. Slides in there for his first triple of the year. We saw his first home run last night. First triple this season, 20th of his career.
That's the 5th extra base hit for the Angels. So 5 of the 6 hits that the Halos have picked up today have been extra base hits. First of the year for Hamilton, triple that is. Here's Mark Trumbo. A nice job by Corcoran there, blocking that breaking pitch in the dirt.
Corcoran did a nice job of getting his body in position to keep that in front. The spin of a breaking pitch, not all that consistent, go either way against you. So as a catcher, you try to square your body up to keep it from going to side against you.
Two balls and no strikes. A little respect right here for Mark Trumbo, considering the batting average against the right-handers have had against Philip Humber. He stayed away from that hot zone.
He's definitely going to have the green light here. There's no question.
3-0. It's a breaking ball.
That's mega respect.
Didn't want anything to do with him. I'll be more than happy to give up first base, and I'll take my chances with Kendrick, whom he struck out leading off the second.
Well, you heard you mention his 5 extra base hits against him, and Trumbo's been swinging the bat well himself. Even though he coupled the outs the other night were rockets, he's hitting the ball well.
So 2 outs, 2 on. Kendrick at the plate. Humber got him with a breaking ball, a slider down and away. The swinging strikeout.
We just feel that Humber's starting to aim pitches. He's forcing it. When you do that, that's when you're more apt to make a mistake. And Howie has to capitalize here in this at bat.
Chopper to third. Dominguez plays the short hop. The inning comes to an end. The Angels get a run and retake the lead, courtesy of Mike Trout's first home run of the season. We're through 3 here at the Big A. 2-1 Halos. Angels on top 2-1. Top of the fourth inning. Corcoran, Cedeno, and Dominguez 6, 7, and 8 for the Astros here against C.J. Wilson.
Trout Farm was saying hi to Mike Trout out in left field.
Carlos Corcoran 0 for 1. He grounded out to Jimenez at third base to end the first. Backup catcher Jason Castro, the starter, had to start the first 2 games of this series. Gets the afternoon off. Corcoran, native of Puerto Rico, switch hitter. Last year hit .269 in 27 games. Bounces this one over to Trumbo. And he'll wave off CJ for the first down. Hey, coming up later on in the game, we'll have the Carl's Jr. Sports Update, and we'll fill you in on the injury bug that continues to bite, and also the Mother Nature situation. Cold, rainy, snow, sleet.
Some tough weather. Just watching the Cubs game yesterday at Wrigley Field. That wasn't real warm looking.
More games up north in April. Let's do it next year.
We always said that. Why are you not playing all the games at the beginning part of the year in California, Florida, Texas, any dome stadium? Nobody seemed to listen, though. I don't know what it was about. I have no idea.
Well, that would involve logic. 0-1 pitch. See Cedeno. It's in there for a strike. Cedeno doubled to lead off the second. Eventually scored lone Astros run. We'll be visiting Texas quite a bit this year. 6 separate trips to Texas for the Angels this year. That makes sense.
Yeah, you would never want to go to Houston and Arlington in the same trip. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense at all.
Why would you want to connect those 2 towns? Daniel lifts one out to right. Hamilton moving back on it. 2 outs. Fans, on Saturday, the Angels will be taking on the Tigers. That's a 12:05 start, and that's on Big Fox. Fans in attendance, however, will receive a drawstring backpack courtesy of Nitto Tire while supplies last. Purchase tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or at angels.com. Two up and 2 down. CJ looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. And Matt Dominguez fouls one back.
Tell you what, Matt Dominguez got some good hands at third base. That was a very difficult play, a tough hop to finish off that inning. The ball that Howie Kendrick hit to him. Got a great glove for a third baseman. Good strong arm.
He doubled home a run in the second. Third double, 5th run batted in.
He's another hitter that has his hands held low.
Fooled on the breaking ball, 1-2. Gary Gaetti keep his hands down low.
Yeah, but he was able to get through the baseball, and he had pretty good power to right center field, to left center field for Gaetti. But you can see how Dominguez's hands are low there, and then loads up as the ball's coming in.
He gets jammed on the fastball. Trumbo's got it. He'll race to the bag on 1-2-3 inning for CJ, his first of the afternoon. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 Halos.
Conger with one out in the second inning. He hits a double to left to right field. With the throw in at second base, Daniel was able to knock his foot off the base, and the call was made, as you can see, foot off the base, but was the glove the reason it knocked it off the base? Hank Conger, though, is called out. This cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And right on cue, Hank Conger leads things off.
That's amazing production down there in the truck.
Magic of television. 1 ball, no strikes. Conger picked up his first extra base hit of the season. That double in the second. Pulls this one up the line. Pena's got it on the backhand. 1 away. Philip Humber has 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's allowed 6 hits. As we pointed out last inning, 5 of them have been extra base hits. He's a former first-round pick of the New York Mets with Rice University. That was in 2004.
Was that group of pitchers from Rice that had 3 #1 picks that year?
With Neiman, yes. Jeff Neiman being one. As Jimenez hits one over to short. Cedeno's got it. 2 outs.
Humber's definitely a pitch to contact guy. When he's successful, he's getting ground balls, but when he elevates pitches in his zone, that's when you see the extra base hits go against him. 7 ground ball outs for him, with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Here's Andrew Romine. 2 outs, nobody on. Romine grounded out to short. This one pulled to Pena. It's a quick bottom of the 4th. 3 up and 3 down for Humber. We've played 4, still 2-1 Angels. Angels Kids Club, presented by Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor Restaurants, is now accepting members for the 2013 season. Gooby's even joining.
Yes.
Members receive a Mike Trout jersey, 2 ticket vouchers, Farrell's gifts, and more. Sign up today at angels.com/Junior Angels or any Southern California Farrell's location.
Been signed up for a while.
Here in the top of the 5th inning, it's 2-1. Halos lead the Astros. Houston sending up Barnes, Altuve, and Maxwell. That's 9-1 and 2. CJ has retired 5 consecutive since walking JD Martinez with 1 out in the 3rd. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks for CJ Wilson. Barnes bounced one over to 3rd base in his 2nd inning at bat. One ball, no strikes. And between innings, because Humber threw the ball quickly and he got 3 quick outs, did the little research from Rice University. it was indeed Philip Humber, Jeff Neiman, and Wade Townsend. 3 pitchers from Rice University staff all selected in the first round.
They win every game that year, Rice?
I believe, weren't they the national champions that year?
I know they were.
In 03. They were 03 national champions. A long look in.
You have the fastball like CJ. Just trust your catcher and go right after him.
2-1.
When CJ started out, the first 12 batters he faced, he only threw 5 first pitch strikes. And then he had a good run there. We had that good streak of getting batters out. 5 batters faced, 5 first pitch strikes. And now behind the count in this at bat 3-1. Faced 18 batters, 10 first pitch strikes.
Full count.
Seventh full count for CJ Wilson here. Use this ground ball out.
Well, Barnes punches it into right field. That's a hit. Hamilton over to cut it off. Barnes thought about going to second. It slammed on the brakes. A leadoff single nonetheless. Back to the top of the order now, Altuve.
And that's the thing now you run into. Altuve can do so much with the bat, and it allows Bo Porter to put a play on, whether it's a bunt, a hit and run. The importance of getting that number 9 hitter out to lead off an inning. Seen Bo Porter utilize that bunt, even for a suicide squeeze last night.
Altuve's 0 for 2. Struck out looking at a first inning, lined into a double play that ended the second. Down and in. Big swing and a miss by Altuve. It's 0-1. Barnes has some speed. 14 stolen bases at AAA last year. 1 in the big leagues. 0-2. Got him to swing over the top of a breaking ball inside. Paint the outside corner of the fastball. What are you going with here?
Breaking ball in the dirt.
They go fastball, and Trumbo's got it. Feeds Romine for 1, and they get the out. He lost the ball on the transfer. And it was going to be tough to double up. Altuve gets down the line quickly. It would have been a bang-bang play with CJ covering, but they record the out.
But still, that pitch was too hittable. Well, you can see he's screened. Romine's completely screened by that throw. As a base runner, you're taught to run on the inside part of the base to be able to make that a more difficult throw for the first baseman, especially a right-handed thrower to the shortstop covering the base.
So Altuve's the base runner at first. Trumbo playing just in front of him. Justin Maxwell's the batter. Maxwell is grounded out and struck out. Houston getting their run in the second inning. The Angels with solo runs in the first and third. Now Altuve will run. He had 33 bags last year. Maxwell looking down at third baseline. Dave Tremblay, former Orioles skipper, is the third base coach for the Astros. Swing and a miss on the off speed. It's Dave Clark, the first base coach. See him twirling that stopwatch. He's timing every pitch, giving the base runner the information. The bouncer to third. Jimenez plays a short hop. Feeds Kendrick for one. No play at first. Maxwell gets down the line quickly.
Another solid play by Jimenez at third base. That's a tough in-between hop. You still get the lead runner to force out at second. Nice little turn. Good feed to Howie Kendrick at second. A chance to be able to try to turn. Maxwell runs well. Jimenez has a pretty big glove for a third baseman. Remember Sean Figgins used to use a bigger glove. A lot of times you'll see an infielder use that smaller glove.
JD Martinez with a single and a walk. 1 for 1. Oh, 1 count. '87 pitches thrown by Wilson with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. The Angels, when they come to the plate in the bottom of the 5th, will have 1, 2, and 3 coming up, and Borges, Trout, and Pujols. Oh, 2.
Boy, Dave Clark keeps going over and talking to Maxwell. We saw with Altuve. He's trying to figure out what tendencies C.J. Wilson has as far as when he's going home, if he's doing anything different. Will he look at the base runner and then throw home, where he look at home and then throw over the base runner? All those little things that pitchers have a tendency to give a first base coach that look.
Oh, 2 count on Martinez. This one down toward center field, hit pretty well, giving chase as Borges on the track makes the catch. The inning comes to an end. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Angels still on top. Baseball is brought to you by your SoCal Ram dealers. Visit ramtrucks.com today. And by 76, we're on the driver's side. The Angels up by the score of 2-1. The bottom of the 5th inning. Peter Borges to lead things off against Philip Humber. He'll be followed by Mike Trout, then Albert Pujols. Borges 0 for 2 today. Swings the first one here, and backhanded stab by Dominguez on the infield grass. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now let's take a look at our AT&T Uverse rewind. Mike Trout in the 3rd inning. Fastball away. Boy, did he crush that baseball. Got that out in front. Compact swing. First home run of the season. And a double. Back in the first, he scored 2 runs, 2 for 2 for Mike Trout.
Now between him and Josh Hamilton, they are 4 for 4 and have hit for the cycle. Hamilton with a single and a triple. Trout's taking care of the double and the home run.
Another good play by Dominguez at third base. Another tough in-between hop. They're staying away against Trout. Well, you would think after that 2-seam fastball away, they're going to try to throw a fastball inside.
Especially with the movement that Humber has. He went outside, he bounced that one.
Changeup.
2-1 count now. There's another off-speed pitch. Back-to-back changeups. 2-2. Bouncer towards short. Cedeno comes charging in. 2 outs. Humber did face the Angels last year. With 1 start, went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 6 runs on 10 hits. They walked 4. His overall numbers in his career not very good. 0-1 with a 5.68 ERA.
And he's allowed 18 hits in 12 2/3 innings pitched. Coming into the game today, he's given up 2 runs on 6 hits. Here with 2 outs in the 5th.
He's gotten Albert with the off-speed stuff today. A couple of ground outs, although the first pitch, or the first out I should say, that he got on Albert, the fastball in on the hands.
Well, you think he's going to get something off speed now.
One ball, 2 strikes. Humber certainly does not waste a whole lot of time on the mound.
Well, as a fielder, you love that from your pitcher. Not wasting time, throwing strikes. You're more apt to make a good play behind them.
2-2's foul back. This one's out towards shallow center field. Altuve going out. Maxwell, a long run in, slides and makes the catch. The Angels go down in order. 5 in the books. Halos still lead this one.
this game 2-1. Chris Carter going to lead off for the Astros against C.J. Wilson, who settled down since struggling there in that second inning. 89 pitches, so he needs a quick inning here to be able to potentially get into that 7th inning.
He'll be facing 4, 5, and 6 for Houston. Carter, Pena, and then Corporate. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. Had some base runners in the 5th inning, but worked out of it. Made some quality pitches. Had the ground ball, some fielder's choices. Chris Carter struck out looking in the 3rd, but drew a walk in the 1st, so he's 0 for 1. Breaking ball is in there. Carter becoming a little more disciplined hitter, laying off pitches out of the strike zone. Very susceptible in the early part of his career.
That's what Chili Davis was saying last year when he was with Oakland. He's becoming more of a guy who's selective, trying to get himself into good fastball counts and not chasing breaking pitches.
2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, foul back. Full count.
Well, when CJ tries to go upstairs with his fastball, he really changes his mechanics. When he's in a good rhythm, he bends his back well, but when he goes upstairs with the fastball, his back is straight and he elevates. You're not going to get a hitter to be able to swing at that pitch because it's too high.
Now 3-2. Carter out to center. Borges is there. One away. That'll bring up the first baseman, Carlos Pena. Around the Major League Baseball scoreboard, Tigers shutting out Oakland 6-0. They put Yoenis Cespedes on the disabled list. The Oakland A's did. He slide at second base and hurt his hand and wrist. So he's on the 15-day DL. They're getting shut out. Texas losing to Seattle 2-1, top of the 5th. Mentioned earlier, the Mets and the Twins were postponed in Minnesota because of snow. 1 ball, no strikes. White Sox leading Cleveland, or they won that game 3-1. Boston shut out Tampa Bay 5-0. Kansas City beat Toronto. Irvin Santana tonight in Kansas City picked up the win 3-2. And the Atlanta Braves swept the Washington Nationals 9-0 today. Pena lifts this one foul and out of play.
That's why you have to play the game on the field. Everyone's basically saying the Nationals are going to the World Series, and they have a very good team. There's no question. Great pitching, solid bullpen, very good everyday lineup. The Atlanta Braves right now, I don't know what Justin Upton did today, but coming into the game, he's got 7 home runs already this year.
That was the Braves' 9th consecutive win. They are 11-1. Washington now 7-5, 4 back in that division. Cincinnati off to a slow start as well. After taking 2 of 3 from the Angels. They started the day 5-6, and they're losing to the Pirates 10-7. That game's in the 9th.
Johnny Cueto had walked off the mound, some injury yesterday too. A lot of players hurt early on in this season.
Two-one pitch. Off the plate, 3 balls and a strike. The Giants leading the Cubs. That game's the bottom of the 8th inning. The Cubs, I think, set a Major League Baseball record with 5 wild pitches in 1 inning.
That's pretty hard to do.
6th inning, 5 wild pitches. Edwin Jackson and Michael Bowden combined for 6. Or pardon me, 5 wild pitches in the 6th.
They had to bring out Charlie Sheen for the wild thing. Another full count. 9 full counts in the game for CJ, now with 100 pitches thrown.
And he walked him. That's the 4th walk issued by Wilson today. Comes out and out here in the 6th. Back in. Look at our Carl's Jr. Sports Update. The injury bug bites again. You know what the Angels' injuries have been. Ibar to the DL yesterday. Same with Kevin Jepson. Like Yoenis Cespedes, as we pointed out.
What about Jose Reyes just the other day? Now, is it the weather playing a part in a lot of cold weather, especially in the Midwest and even in the East Coast? Has that been a player behind why the number of injuries? That's certainly hasn't been a lot of fun for some clubs early on.
Now we'll just blame all the injuries on
the World Baseball Classic.
Now Mike D'Antoni and how he's handled the minutes this year. Carlos Corcoran is 0 for 2 today. A couple of ground outs. Time is called. The beach balls come onto the field down the left field line. Big right-hander Dane De La Rosa is getting ready. One out here in the 6th inning. Takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, C.J. Wilson always has been one of the best pitchers as far as getting double play balls. He can sure use one right now. And Scioscia's more than likely going to be going to the bullpen soon with that pitch count getting up for Wilson. That was odd. CJ threw a ball over the first base where Carlos Pena was already standing on the base.
1-1 pitch. It's in the dirt.
Nice job by Hank Conger to keep that from getting too far away, and not a real good read for Carlos Pena as far as trying to get into scoring position. Overthrown changeup, it looked like. Still prevented Carlos Pena from advancing. Carlos Pena is a guy that's not going to run a whole lot. De La Rosa's already warmed up, so you think sometimes when you throw over the first base, it's by design to be able to allow him to be ready, but he's definitely ready down in the bullpen.
Runner goes, and Corcoran got a piece of it and fouled it back. Pena will have to head back to first.
Hit and run and a pitch out of the strike zone. As a hitter, you have to protect, you have to swing at it. It would have been ball 3.
Count even up now, 2-2.
What did Buck Rogers tell us one time, Victor, about didn't like to put a hit and run on with a left-handed pitcher a whole lot? Mike Scioscia is a believer in that, also not putting hit and run on a lot with a left-handed pitcher.
Corcoran loops one out towards center field. That's a base hit. Pena will round second. He's going to try to go to third. Here comes a throw from Borges. It's offline. Corcoran trying to go to second, and the ball goes off the glove of Kendrick, and everybody is safe. So the Astros have runners at second and third, and if Borges' throw is on the bag, Pena is out.
Real surprised that Pena took that chance, because Borges has a strong throwing arm. Charged it well, with the throw up the left field line. And Jimenez's throw over to second base is off the glove of Howie Kendrick. But Borges did a good job as far as charging aggressively to get that baseball to try to get Pena at third, but the throw wasn't there.
Corcoran gets credit for a base hit. Nowhere, nothing, just moving to second on the throw from Borges.
Infield playing back, except for Mark Trumbo at first base with one out.
Cedeno's 1 for 2. Doubled and scored in the second. Hit a fly ball to right field in the fourth. Squeezes on. Little flip to Conger, and they got him. Kind of an odd time to call for a squeeze. Down by a run.
Played perfectly by C.J. Wilson. No panic, because you're not going to get any other play but the play at the plate. Right back at him, flip, in position to be able to apply the tag. Not a force play. You have to apply a tag. Good feed from C.J. That all-important second out. Boy, especially with the infield playing back, you're real surprised you put a squeeze on, because the Angels are willing to give up that tying run with a ground ball in the middle infielder.
And Cedeno has decent speed, so at least you force the issue to make the Angels turn a double play. And if they don't, you still get that run, but the Halos will certainly take it. 2 outs, still work to be done though, with runners at first and third. Dominguez at the plate. He doubled home a run in the second and grounded out to Trumbo in the fourth. One ball, no strikes. When was the last time you saw a visiting team or team not called the Angels squeeze twice in a series?
Especially when you're behind by one. And again, point out, the infield's playing back. You're conceding a run.
One 0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Time up.
Now see if CJ can get through this inning. Caught a break. Hard bunt back to him. Fielded position well.
Jammed over that fastball.
We talked about his hands being at the level that is susceptible to fastballs inside, and CJ threw a very good one inside. I think Conger going to talk to the infielders here just in case we try a double steal here. Cedeno would probably stop in the middle of the base path and try to get in a rundown.
You've got the catcher Corcoran, however, at third base. The 1-2. This one's pulled down a line. He almost did him a favor by speeding up his bat on that breaking ball.
Especially when that swing the pitch before was a fastball and you ate him up inside. But you can still react even if your front hip's open like it was. You can still keep your hands back on a slow breaking ball and make good contact.
Another 1-2 upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He has him with the fastball in there. But just a little bit too high. He thought about chasing it, Dominguez did.
That's the 10th full count for C.J. Wilson today. And that'll get Cedeno going with the pitch at first base with 2 outs here.
That's important too, because you've taken away that force play on a tough play at the infield at second base. It's in the hole. Kevin Romine would have to throw the first base instead of have a shorter throw the second. Those little things that you put into play when you go into a full count.
Brandon Barnes, the right fielder, is on deck. Dane De La Rosa is ready to go in the bullpen. He'll be coming on. Angels also now Sean Burnett getting ready.
The reason why Mike Butcher's going out right now is to allow Sean Burnett to be ready.
And to be ready for a pinch hitter, that being perhaps Rick Ankiel.
Mike Butcher talking to C.J. Wilson said, hey, all I need is one more quality pitch from you. Then we'll go to the bullpen. We'll get 9 outs out of the bullpen. Just one pitch. Give it everything you got right now. Your best pitch of the day right at this point.
Trumbo playing back at first. Here's the 3-2, and just got a piece of it, fouled it back. Reset, do it again. Cedeno back over at first. Corcoran, the catcher's over at third. 2-1 Angels. Top of the 6th inning, 2 outs. Last batter, C.J. Wilson will more than likely face. Conger set up in. Here's a 3-2, and this one's out toward left center field. Trout has a beat on it. Calls off Borges. The inning comes to an end. We will head to the bottom of the 6th. And the Angels leading it 2-1. Innings, 115 pitches, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and more than likely done for the afternoon. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. The Halos here in the bottom of the 6th inning, up 2-1. We'll have Hamilton, Trumbo, and Kendrick up to face Philip Humber. At 71 pitches for the right-hander, 2 strikeouts and a walk. This one's back toward second base, and That's where the shortstop's at. Ronnie Cedeno with the overshift throws out Hamilton for the first out.
That's where that ground ball got through the hole. The first at bat for Hamilton, and this time Cedeno playing further over into that second base side of the base.
So with one out, it's the third or fourth time that Humber's picked up a one-pitch out.
He's around the strike zone, throws a lot of fastballs that first pitch with movement, tries to make the hitter make contact on the ground.
Well, looks at the strike. Mark is 0 for 1. Fielder's choice in the first and a walk in the third. On the corner for strike 2. It looks like Sean Burnett will be coming on in the 7th inning for the Angels. Slider, he went around. 2 down.
Boy, Humber's had 7 0-2 counts. Swing and miss from Trumbo. You can afford to expand the strike, so when you get ahead of the count like that, 0-2, there's a curveball in that one. After back-to-back fastballs at 89 on the corner.
Howie looks at a fastball for a strike. Kendrick with a strikeout and a ground out. Astros in the 7th inning will have 9-1-2 coming up. Barnes, Altuve, and Maxwell barring a pinch hitter. The Porter decides to pinch hit for Barnes. Kendrick bounces one to the right side. Pena going to his right. Feed Humber, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. 6 complete here at the Big A, and it's still 2-1 Angels. Angels baseball is brought to you by AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-AT&T. Rethink possible. And by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. Top of the 7th here at the Big A. Overcast skies, cool temperatures. The Angels leading at 2-1 as Mike Socha turns the ball over to Sean Burnett. 9, 1-2 coming up for the Astros. Our in and out, who's in, who's out. C.J. Wilson done after 6 innings and 1 run. 5 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, and Sean comes in to try to get through this 7th.
24th game he has pitched against the Astros in his career. ERA 3.20 for Sean.
Brandon Barnes will hit here. Burnett pitched last night, went 2/3 of an inning and allowed a hit. Barnes, a right fielder, 1 for 2. He grounded a third in the 2nd, singled in the 5th. Shows bunt, takes a strike. It's toward the dugout.
Boy, a late swing, difficult to be able to pick up the baseball against Sean Burnett, who throws across his body well and hides the baseball.
Burnett signing a multi-year deal with the offseason. The Nationals last couple seasons, originally the Pirates organization, former 1st-round pick by the Bucks,
former starter at that point with the Pirates.
Florida native. Makes his home just outside the West Palm Beach area. 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jose Altuve, the 2nd baseman and leadoff man, is on deck. A full count. Seems like we've said that quite a bit today.
I'm going to say, could you just say 0-2 swing and miss by Sean Burnett?
Or would you prefer that I just say 3-2 instead of full count?
Yes.
Ground ball to short. Ormond's got it. 1 out. Let's go back to our Hyundai key to the game.
That carry on. We talked about carry on, that momentum from last night's big come from behind victory. Start off with a run in the 1st inning. Gave up that lead in the 2nd, but got it right back in the 3rd. It's been the defense by the Angels that prevented the Astros of tying this game. A good play on that suicide squeeze by C.J. Wilson. The momentum there. Now it's up to Sean Burnett to maintain it here and get the offense going and score some late runs here.
Altuve today is 0 for 3. Strikeout, a double play, and a fielder's choice. Swings to the first one, and it's a bouncer to Jimenez. 2 down.
It has been the busy man today.
Yeah,
very effective.
Done a nice job. Hey, earlier I was telling you about that Oakland A's score, Tigers and A's. It was 8-0. It's 8-1 now in the 4th inning. And I went to the box score to see who got the start for Oakland. Just because, you know, when you see 8 runs scored against an Oakland A's starter, it kind of stands out a little bit. Jared Parker gave up 8 runs on 9 hits and 3 1/3. Remember the start he had here?
Didn't look good.
Didn't look good. He had that start here that he only lasted 3 1/3. Gave up 9 hits. And the Angels, obviously, at that time, were not getting hits with men in scoring position. Hale, as a matter of fact, stranded 13 in that game that Parker started here. But you wonder if something's going on with Jared Parker.
Yeah, he hasn't, you know, he's a guy that doesn't walk many batters, doesn't fall behind in many counts, but he's been doing that a lot early on here.
He had 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in that shortout. Maxwell swings and misses 1-1. Texas is now leading Seattle 3-2. That game's in the 6th. Here it's 2-1 Angels. Top of the 7th. But why throw anything else?
Go right back. Go a baseball off the outside corner. I mentioned Sean Burnett has tremendous deception. Throws across his body just completely opposite with Jerry Weaver, who throws across his body from the right side. Same thing with Burnett from the left side.
Ground ball to the left side. Jimenez comes charging in. And Burnett with a 1-2-3 inning. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A. The Halos with a 2-1 lead. Angels baseball is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Kia. Visit your Southern California Kia retailers or mysocalkia.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-1. Angels lead it. Philip Humber is back out on the mound for the Houston Astros. And why not? He's retired the last 10 in a row since giving up the walk to Trumbo in the 3rd inning. Conger, Jimenez, and Romine here in the 7th for the Angels. Looking for some insurance runs.
Always big at this point of the game. 12 ground ball outs for Humber in this game.
Conger looks at a strike. Hanks 1 for 2. Doubled in the 2nd and grounded out to Pena in the 4th. That was the 82nd pitch that Humber has thrown today. 55 have been strikes. He's 3 punch outs, 1 walk, 6 hits allowed.
Well, he wastes absolutely no time in between pitches.
The Mark Burley school of pitching.
Smart school of pitching.
Although Humber walks back to the rubber, it seems like Burley's waiting for the throw back while standing on the rubber.
I'll let Jim Cott was the same way.
Breaking pitch pulled over to Pena at first. The ball had a funny spin to it. There's the first down here in the 7th inning. Pena's been busy as well today. 1 out, nobody on for Luis Jimenez, who doubled in the 2nd inning. A 1-hopper off the fence and left. Grounded to short in the 4th.
Yeah, 4 ground balls to Pena today at first base.
Double that Jimenez hit in the 2nd, his 2nd on his young season. Young big league career. With double yesterday's major league hit, first major league hit. He's looked really good at 3rd.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the game. His energy is great for the team.
Goes down swinging for the 2nd out. Strikeout number 4, Philip Humber. Let's go back to our AT&T Twitter poll question of the day. Which American League team has the best offense? The Texas Rangers, 56% of the vote.
That's a pretty interesting vote there. Tigers only 7 with Victor Martinez and Torrey Hunter in that lineup. It already has a Triple Crown winner and Prince Fielder.
Romine looks at his strike.
That's a pretty good lineup the Tigers have.
They must be watching our game in the Metroplex at Texas. Andrew 0 for 2 today. Looking for that first hit of the season. Romine shoots one out to the alley in right center field. And that falls for base hit. There's his first knock of the year. Snaps a string of 12 straight retired by the right-hander.
These are the times where you might take a chance trying to steal a base. Philip Humber has been susceptible to stolen bases. The last 3 seasons alone, including this one, 19 stolen bases successful against him in 23 attempts. So you might want to take a shot here, especially already have Borges, your leadoff hitter, up here at the plate. Much easier to drive him in from 2nd base and at 1st base for Peter Borges.
Big lead at 1st. Humber will check in on him. 7th hit for the Angels today. 5 have been extra base hits against the right-hander. And Borges tries to bunt his way on. Dominguez with the glove, the transfer, and the throw, and they got him. The inning comes to an end. 7th complete here at the Big A. It is still 2-1 Angels.
Angels still leading the Houston Astros 2-1. Look at our Nissan upcoming schedule. There's 3 games coming up in Minnesota. Chilly, Minnesota, before the off day on Thursday. Come home against the Detroit Tigers, followed by the Texas Rangers, and off to Seattle, followed by Oakland.
Tough month of April continues for the Angels as far as the schedule is concerned. They've dug themselves a hole. Got to try to chip away, being 5 games under 500 to start the year, 3-8. But have a 2-1 lead here in the 8th inning. Scott Downs takes over for Sean Burnett. Burnett threw the ball well in that 7th inning, a 1-2-3 frame for him. And it'll be J.D. Martinez, Chris Carter, and Carlos Pena to face Downs. 5 games, a 6.75 ERA, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Limited action this year. Last pitched on Friday. Ground ball foul at the third base line. 0-1 on J.D. Martinez. Got the start today in left field. 1 for 2. A single, a walk, and a fly ball to center. The Angels will face Philip Humber in the bottom of the 8th inning. No action in the Astros pen. There's a breaking ball for a strike.
Good spot on that off-speed pitch by Scott Downs.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Martinez hits one toward the middle. Romine to his left has it. 1 out.
Boy, a lot of ground ball outs in this game from Angel pitchers. The defense there.
So 1 up and 1 down. Here's Chris Carter, the DH. Carter's walked, struck out, and hit a fly ball to center. So he's 0 for 2. Outfield straight around against the big right-hander. We're looking to strike. Borges and Hamilton both a little bit deeper than normal, but not by much.
You're playing that no doubles defense. You don't let anything go over your head. Allow him to get into scoring position.
Staying away from Carter. Conger is set up. It's 2-1. Downs made his 500th appearance Tuesday. It was against Oakland. Good location. 2-2.
Turned over a little two-seam fastball, hits the outside corner at the knees, away. You can't place a baseball any better than Scott Downs did there. Target set, target hit.
Now the 2-2. Just off the plate. A full count. Carlos Pena's on deck. Here's the payoff. And he walked him. So the tying run is on board for the Astros. Chris Carter. First baseman Carlos Pena coming up. Pena's 0 for 1. He grounded out to third in the third inning. He's also drawn 2 walks. Now it looks like there's some scrambling going on in both bullpens out in left field. Ernesto Frieri begins to play catch. And Xavier Cedeno for Houston. That sweeping breaking ball just missed down and away. And Frieri is your closer, but because of the infrequent use this year and needing a W, going to use him in multiple inning situations. Try to lock it down.
Try to get, if he had to, get 4, potentially 5 outs from him. Joey Torre did that a lot with Rivera with the Yankees over the years. That try to get 2 outs. Maybe your situational pitcher here being Scott Downs. If Minnesota feels comfortable and Ernesto's ready, he might be asked to get 4 outs.
Romine shading Pena toward the middle. And it's 2 balls and a strike. It doesn't usually take Ernesto Frieri a whole lot to get ready in the bullpen. TJ Wilson went 6. John Burnett 1 as Pena cuts through this one. 2-2. Downs trying to get through this 8th inning.
And you think Scott's going to go to the exact same pitch. 88-mile-an-hour fastball, good velocity, great location.
Conger shifting outside. Breaking ball. Got him swinging down. Goes Pena. 2 down.
That's a pitch he started off Pena with. It just missed the strike zone. Big sweeping curveball. Boy, way out in front, unable to make contact. Even if he does, it's going to be hit the other way, which utilizes the bigger part of the ballpark.
This is the catcher, Carlos Corporate. 1 for 3 today. Got a single in the 6th inning. Eventually stranded at third base. The Angels in the bottom of the 8th inning will have Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton coming up. Thought it was going to be Humber, and perhaps it's going to be Cedeno as Corcoran swings through the first one. Lost the handle of the bat, the top hand flying off.
He's going to take a shot at that first pitch fastball. Hope it was inside.
Doug Brocail, the pitching coach, talking to Humber. Phillips only thrown 92 pitches today. A pretty good performance for him. Downs a strike away from getting through this 8th inning. Carter standing over at first for 2 outs. Here's the 0-2. Pulled foul.
Got a good feel for that breaking ball today, Scott Downs.
Ronnie Cedeno is on deck. Boy, Downs thought he had it. He started walking toward the dugout. And to Mark Wegner's credit, he's seen a lot of pitches on that part of the plate today, and he's not called them a strike.
I'll tell you what, he's been pretty consistent in this game. Hasn't been a whole lot of questioning his calls. Now, replays have shown he's been pretty much on the mark.
Go back outside?
Yes.
And that is pulled toward left field. Trout is not going to get there. One hopper. Stopping at second is Carter. They came back inside with the fastball.
Reason why it's a difficult pitch coming back in, because he just missed in, so he's going to be aware of that. And he didn't necessarily crush it, but he was aware inside he was able to get his hands in enough and flare that into left field.
Well, that's going to be it for Scott Downs. Ernesto Frieri is going to be called upon here to get that 4-out save. So a pitching change. We're in the 8th inning with 2 outs. The Halos with a 2-1 lead. And with runners at first and second, Mike Scioscia goes to the bullpen, brings in the closer Ernesto Frieri. 4 games so far this year, 4 innings, no record in a 2.25 ERA.
Boy, better command of late with that fastball, get an opportunity to be able to get more consistent work, which is important for Ernesto. Fastball 93 to 96 range, good lateral movement on that fastball too. Slider, changeup, and an occasional cut fastball for him.
He'll be facing Ronnie Cedeno. At least that was the scheduled batter. Looks like Rick Ankiel. No, Jason Castro will come up to pinch hit. Castro's the everyday catcher, so he will pinch hit here in the shortstop spot. Castro hitting .220 on the year. Has 3 doubles, a home run, and 3 runs batted in the Stanford product. Chris Carter representing the tying runs at second base. Carlos Corcoran, the catcher, is over at first. Ernesto's first one is just off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Ernesto pitched Friday night, went 1 inning. Gave up a hit, struck out 2, and also walked a man. 2 balls, no strikes.
Bo Porter going with the percentage, going to left-handed batter against Ernesto, though he's been very effective against lefties so far this year. Frieri just 0 for 8 lefties. Righties hitting .429 against them.
Behind in the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Two and one. Romine shading Castro toward the middle, trying to keep Carter close to the bag. That's high. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Both of these base runners belonging to Scott Downs. 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk for Scott. Matt Dominguez is on deck. Right hand hitting third baseman. The Astros at one point had Xavier Cedeno warming up. Then they've had Reiner Cruz warming up in the bullpen. Now nobody's warming up. Cruz is ready to go if he's going to come into this game. A 3-ball, 1-strike count. Pinch hitter Jason Castro at the plate. 2 outs here in the 8th.
Challenge him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. We've talked about it many a times. Ernesto very difficult to pick up. Hides the baseball well behind the hip, and then on you as a hitter.
And now you're going to get a pinch runner at first base. On a 3-2 count, Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez will stay in the game and go to shortstop, and Castro will stay in the game and be the catcher. Kind of an interesting time to go with a pinch runner. But they'll be off at the pitch with 2 outs. That's a pretty shaky move, that last one that Ernesto did.
Yeah, because you had to be distinctly turning around towards second. If you're going your foot down, a lot of times an umpire can call that a balk and then make that spin around.
Runners go, the 3-2, swing and a miss. Down goes Castro, and Frieri gets out of it. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels still on top. Ernesto Frieri getting Jason Castro, the pinch hitter, to strike out with tying run in scoring position.
Boy, this is some serious gas. 3-2 count, fastball, perfect location, movement, lateral, swing and miss, and a fist pump from Hank Conger. Like that from behind the plate. Boy, catchers are so into the game when they're behind there. I mean, they like what they do defensively, sometimes even more than what they do at the plate. And Hank Conger's done a nice job there, showing some enthusiasm after getting that swing and miss. Ernesto Frieri coming in with that big punch out.
Marwin Gonzalez, as we figured, stays in the game. He's at shortstop. Jason Castro, who struck out to end the 8th inning, is behind the plate. And a new pitcher on the mound. It's Reiner Cruz taking over for Philip Humber with 7 innings today. Allowed 2 runs, both third on 7 hits, including the home run that he gave up to Trout in the 3rd inning.
And speaking of good fastballs, Cruz has a very good fastball, 94 to 99. Slider, changeup.
3rd straight game for Cruz in this series. 2/3 of an inning Friday, an inning last night, and now here in the bottom of the 8th to face Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton. 2, 3, and 4 for the Angels. And overall, a very good outing for Philip Humber.
Excellent.
Breaking pitch is inside. Mike Trout 2 for 3. A double, a home run, and a ground ball to short. Home run in the 3rd inning. Right center field, his first of the year. Two balls and no strikes. Looked like Mike a little upset at himself. He started to swing at that pitch.
And he's trying to be more selective on that fastball inside that a number of pitchers have been thrown in there of late against him.
He was incredibly selective last year. And selectivity has gone down just a little bit this year. This one fouled back. Back in the 3rd inning. This is what he did against Humber.
That's unbelievable power the other way. Double, then a home run in this game. 2 runs scored for Trout. That's a pretty good swing in the 2-1 fastball. Again, something away. He's had some good swings at fastballs away, even if that first at bat is slider down and away. He was able to hook it to left field. Well, he's on that.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Trout leading off this bottom of the 8th inning. Tired of waiting, so he backs out.
And most times when you see a hitter with a swing like that on your fastball, even if you have a good one, you're going to go to something off speed.
Good count. Albert Pujols is on deck. Trout leading off this 8th inning. 3-2, and he walked him. Castro goes out to talk things over. Pena joins in, as does Gonzalez.
Mike Trout with this 1 stolen base so far this year. Would not be surprised to see him going at some point here. At least the threat of a stolen base is important because that distraction may lead to a bad pitch to Albert Pujols, and he can crush one.
Big hole on the right side with Altuve. He's shading him toward the middle. Pena holding Trout on at first. Breaking ball, first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes.
I think this should be a fastball here now for Albert.
Trout takes off. The pitch is lifted foul and out of play.
Well, Trout had a big jump. Three steps before the pitch is delivered. It was not a hit and run.
Trout leaning a little bit, and they'll throw over to check in on him. Cruz, prior to last year, selected by the Astros in the Rule 5 draft. The Mets organization. Good arm. This is out toward left center field. Hit pretty well. Maxwell's got a beat on it, though. And he'll make the catch. Just got underneath it.
Didn't miss by a lot. You can tell by the reaction running across the diamond after that swing. Pujols just missed that one. He had a pretty good swing at it.
So 1 out. Trout still at first. Here's Hamilton. Dominguez way off the line at third. The outfield shading Hamilton the opposite way, with the infield playing him to pull. 2 for 3 today. A single, to triple, an RBI.
Change up, first pitch. Now you've taken away the potential pitch out. You see an opportunity for Mike Trout to go, even though still a slight hole between first and second. This is a good opportunity to go.
Hamilton faced Cruz last night. Cruz got him. Change up down and away.
A lot of times you want power hitters to be able to get a fastball. It's a fastball count here for Hamilton. The reality is you have a lot of trust in Trout to be able to get into scoring position for you here if he gets a good jump.
We got a fastball at 96. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's on it. That's the danger. When you throw a fastball 96 hits away and you have Dominguez playing so far off the line at third base, you shoot one right down that line. You saw what Mike Trout can do as far as being at first base when the ball gets by the third baseman.
So if they want to pitch him away here, there's that changeup.
Especially that pitch, because if you're going to throw a changeup away, You're more apt to be out in front, but you might hit a little slow roller down the third base line. Dominguez would not be in position to make a play.
In the air toward left center field. Maxwell moving back on it at the warning track at the wall. That is gone! Big fly for Josh Hamilton. 2-run shot, and that makes it 4-1 Angels. That ball had some carry.
And he's got some crazy power the other way. We saw him a number of years in Texas hit the ball the other way. The ball was hit far and high. And Maxwell looked like he was drifting back, thinking he was having a beat on it. I mean, that's a pretty good pitch. Fastball away at the knees, but a better swing. Hamilton goes yard. Third run scored in the game for Mike Trout. Tries to make the play just over his glove. Maxwell unable to make the play. 2-run home run, huge insurance runs.
No doubt. That'll bring up Trumbo. Mark swings the first one and rolls one to third. Dominguez spins around, throws him out for the second out.
I think the bottom line is avoid hitting anything towards third. Dominguez is unreal at third base.
I tell you what, first time you'd seen him before in high school. First time I've seen him. And just watch the replay of the bunt that Borges had in the 7th inning. That's about as good a bunt as you're going to have as a hitter. And he had plenty of time even feeling it with his glove and transferring and throwing out Borges.
I mean, a lot of times you hear at the plate, quiet hands at the plate. He has quiet hands at the field. Soft hands at third and a strong throwing arm.
Howie flips one into right field and a base hit. Got jammed. A 2-out knock for Kendrick keeps the inning alive for Hank Conger. Josh Hamilton now with home runs in back-to-back games. It's his second 3-hit game of the season.
Boy, if you're in Minnesota right now, the game's been called, you're watching a game, and you're seeing Trout swinging the bat well. Now Hamilton, Pujols has been swinging the bat well too, and all of a sudden those 3 guys, 2, 3, and 4 hitters in your lineup are like, uh-oh. You might be praying for some more snow.
Now it looks like Xavier Cedeno's back up and loosening once again. Looks like they're giving him some time to get ready. Hey, MLB.com At Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Angels baseball with live audio, pitch tracking stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 318-26 or log on at Angels.com for more details. And Conger 1 for 3 today. Had a double in the 2nd inning. And just as we suspected, both Porter's coming out. It looks like he's going to make the move.
He's taking his time. Usually runs out the mound. How about a game for Hamilton? Let's get back to him real quick. Single, triple, home run.
And it looks like Bo Porter brought in Cruz to keep it a 1-run deficit. I get the feeling that this is going to make a move. He's taking an awful long time here. Nope, going to leave him in there. Conger switch hitter would just spun around and hit from the right side. Howie over at first base. 4-1. Angels lead it here in the 8th inning. Josh Hamilton with a 2-run home run. Increase the Angels lead to 3. It's in the dirt. The next block by Castro.
It's not an easy pitch to block also. That's a hard fastball. In the dirt. You sacrifice your body to be able to keep that baseball in front of you.
Kendrick takes off. The pitch is high to throw to second, and that is in time. The inning comes to an end, but not before the Angels tack on a couple of insurance runs. Josh Hamilton with his second of the year, 2-run shot as we head to the ninth. Halos up 4-1. One Angels, top of the ninth inning. The Houston Astros here in the ninth will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Dominguez, Barnes, and then Altuve to face Ernesto Frieri. Ernesto came on in the 8th inning and struck out the pinch hitter Jason Castro. CJ went 6 innings today, allowed a run on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. He is the pitcher of record. Dominguez, the third baseman, 1 for 3. Doubled home run in the second inning. Two balls, no strikes. Third strike.
Good decision. This challenge, you can't hurt you. For a 3-run lead, you want to force him to swing the bat.
Two-one pitch is fouled back.
Boy, they had some good run on it. Dominguez is probably at the plate thinking, I have a good chance to jump all over this fastball. Starts in the middle of the plate, but then runs in on his hands. That lateral movement, so effective for Ernesto.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the ninth. Swing and a miss. Down goes Dominguez. 1 out.
Same pitch, similar location, that great movement. Well, you think about how far that baseball ran. Hank Conger setting up in the outside corner. Initially, that ball is going towards the target, then runs on the inner half of the plate. If you're a hitter, you've never seen Ernesto before, it's very difficult to pick up the baseball.
Rick Ankiel pinch hitting here for Brandon Barnes. Barnes finishes off the day going 1 for 3. Kill hitting 182 through the first 9 games for him. 4 for 22. Has a couple of home runs though. 8 runs batted in. He's 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter, including a home run. 3 runs batted in. Two and one.
Still an amazing story when you think about Rick Ankiel.
No doubt.
For a lot of people now just think of him as a position player, but he was a dominant pitcher when he first came up with the Cardinals. I mean, his fastball was electric.
Two and two. And then the dreaded postseason of 2000 as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals on the mound. First against the Braves, and then against the New York Mets.
I mean, he was virtually unhittable when he was on the mound. Well, you could see his arm when you see him in the outfield when he throws from the outfield to a base. How firm it is and how accurate it is now.
Altuve on deck. Here's the 3-2. This one's yanked foul. Looking fastball and way out in front of it. Astro trying to close it down and pick up the W for the Angels. It would be the Angels' first series win, and for the first time this year, back-to-back wins. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. That's 3 up, 3 down via the punch out. 2 outs here in the 9th.
Well, you have to be in back-to-back batters, being behind 2-0, coming right back and getting the punch out. We're looking good today with great movement.
Jose Altuve, the batter. Looks at his strike. Altuve 0 for 4 today. Oh, 1 pitch. Shot to right field, a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Altuve. He is on board with 2 outs here in the 9th.
He did a real good job. Didn't try to do a whole lot with it. When you have a guy throwing that hard, all you got to do is shorten up your swing and make contact. And Altuve did so in the right field.
So Justin Maxwell will step up. He's the center fielder. He's had an 0 for 4 day as well. The base hit by Altuve, the 7th for the Astros. The Angels had 9 hits. Altuve will take second base on indifference.
Changeup from Ernesto, first pitch.
One ball, 1 strike. Nestor looking to pick up his second save of the year. It's C.J. Wilson with 6 innings, 1 run. John Burnett 1 inning. Scoreless baseball. Scott Downs 2/3 of an inning. Nestor trying to finish up his inning in the 3rd. Maxwell went around. And it's 1-2.
Showing the changeup, fastball, now slider.
light that baby up as the Angels take the finale against the Astros by the final of 4-1.
Boy, nice job by Ernesto. 4 punch-outs for his 4 outs. Josh Hamilton, the story though, single, triple, home run, that big 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th, the big insurance runs. Enough runs today for the pitching staff. C.J. Wilson battled through 6 innings, only allowed that 1 run, and the bullpen outstanding. In those last 9 outs, very effectively pull off, finally get that first series victory for the Angels as they go on the road to Minnesota. But a good start here, finally getting that put together as far as a win streak.
A win streak indeed. It might just be 2 games, but maybe that's exactly what the Angels needed. Yesterday they pick up the win in walk-off style. Today they got timely hitting and a little insurance at the end as Josh Hamilton picked up his 2nd home run, a 3-hit game for him, his 2nd 3-hit game of the season. The Angels pick up the victory by the final of 4-1. Josh Hamilton is down on the field with our own Jamie Maggio.
Hey, Victor, thank you. Josh, 3 hits for you today. I know our voices are going to be booming in the stadium. Home runs now for you in back-to-back games. Do you feel like you're starting to get into a groove?
I've felt good for a long time now. Just haven't made any hits.
Well, we're happy to hear that.
So, yeah, it felt good today. You know, the biggest thing is not trying to do too much, so I'm just glad we got a couple wins.
Last night was a much-needed win for the Halos, and you guys did it with a come-from-behind walk-off, no less. Did some of that momentum carry into today?
Absolutely. You want momentum, you want positive momentum going in a good direction, and you can build off that. So hopefully we can carry it into Minnesota.
And now back-to-back win for the Halos for the first time this season. Does it feel, Josh, like the team has turned a corner here?
Is that called a winning streak?
I think so.
Yes!
Well, let's build upon that winning streak, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Enjoy Minnesota. Victor, back to you. Actually, once again, Angels top the Astros here. Final score 4-1. Angels Live, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers, is coming up next.